Alright, hello everyone and welcome. Today we have another stream. We have race 2 in round 2 of season 3 in the Tom Hanks Racing Series. Welcome everyone that's joined already. I will fire up BeamNG in just a second. And once we switch over there, we should be good to go. So, today I did not drive all of the competing cars up the track in order to practice, but I did run my own car up there quite a few times. You see three finished times there, but trust me, it was more than 3 runs. So yeah, let's jump into the car and do a little bit of practice again, and then we get into the actual competitors. Yep, the practice really showed there. But anyway, these are going to be warm-up runs anyway, and so don't expect perfection there. I think we're going to repeat the same format as last time, where I go in the reverse order of the current overall standings, and I drive every car once, and then after I've driven the current overall leader for the first run, then I'll go again in every car, and we'll try it again. Stream looks much smoother now. Awesome. That's great to hear, because yesterday I received my 2080 Ti that I ordered on Tuesday. I posted a picture of my rig on my Discord today, and by the way, only the graphics card is new. Everything else is the way that it has been before. Dude, my controller is doing weird things in the last couple of days. Haven't had problems practicing here in Beam earlier today, but I've had problems with it yesterday in Forza, and I thought, okay, maybe it's some sort of driver bug or it's Forza doing weird things, but now I'm starting to think it's actually the controller. And I've got the, it's one of those controllers that you can either use wirelessly or with the cable. It seems to be better with the cable in, but right there it was funky again. So like sometimes sometimes there's a delay in the response time, but only sometimes, where you know, I try to steer right, and instead the car goes straight for just a fraction of a second, and then it goes right. just about caught the car there. Although right now the controller is behaving normally. Yep. And that's what we're gonna see a lot. Okay, no, that was my own fault. Took the wrong line. Try to avoid the white parts. Well, that's, you know, that's a solid tip at the start, like where the ice starts, but then later on, like everything is coated in ice, so can't really avoid it near the end. Don't go into first. See, from here on, you basically get nowhere that's free of ice. Just ride the torque. That's gonna be way faster. Even though it sounds like it isn't, but it is. Woo! Yeah. I apologize in advance on behalf of my car for what it's about to do on the last segment. Yeah. Let's drive with the Veloz and see what it can do, and then let's get into the actual competitors. So I feel like it's gonna be a long stream, as a test said. Now this engine has a very good torque and a wide torque band, so I think even third gear is gonna be a little bit of a struggle on the ice, but I don't really want to go into fourth and then the engine basically dies. Come on now. Car is still okay. Barely missed the 2-minute mark, but yeah, 2 minutes point 6. Yep. As well than a sports truck I made for the 90 sports truck challenge. Yeah, yeah. Like 4-wheel drive really helps here, especially on the ice, of course. But even then, I mean, if you just don't have, like, 4-wheel drive doesn't always fix everything automatically on ice. Like there's just simply no grip there anyway. But let's get into the actual competitors here and start with the vertical Capri, which is currently in last place overall. Like 4-wheel drive is great and all, but on ice, like the overall limit of grip is the overall level of grip is just so much lower that oftentimes it doesn't really help anyway. Like sure, you might not spin as easily, but instead you might just understeer off. Okay, way too late on the brakes there. Yeah, the trucks were pretty quick indeed. And I'll tell you one thing as well. Over the course of I don't know how many years I've been doing these challenges now, like 5 years? 4 years at the very least. I've learned that it's not always about power to weight, but it's torque to weight that really, in my opinion, determines how fast the car is gonna be in terms of acceleration. But if you have two cars that weigh the same amount and have the same amount of power, but one car has that power coming from a bigger engine with more torque, that car is gonna accelerate quite a bit faster. or has a turbocharger or whatever, so... Oh no. Can't really tell if that damaged the car in any way, other than cosmetically. It seems to drive normally given the circumstances of being on ice. And that was a 2:05. Okay, 2:05.31 for the vertical Capri. Alright, next up is the Mida Punta by Travic 125. Actually, here down in these lower positions, these bottom four, three are gonna get eliminated after this race. And these are actually really close together. I think it's like 30, 32, and then two cars on like 36 points, I think, these next two after this one. So amongst these four, if one of them does quite well, then it's safe. But the others are going to be really close together, and every second counts. Too much wheel peel there. Ah, come on. That was pretty nice through those S's there, a little bit sideways at times, but maintained most of its momentum. I guess this just has too much one wheel peel, and I don't really know how to suggest fixing that with the given restrictions on the tires and whatnot, and the differential. It's just that some other cars manage to control that a little bit better than this car does. Come on. Such little throttle input, and yet it spun. Like, I really have no complaints when it comes to the handling of this car, the turning and everything. But it's good. It just can't seem to put the power down. Like, it corners actually pretty similarly to my own car. It's just that it's got way more wheel peel, and it feels like it's also down like 10 or 15 horsepower versus my car. Which I'm not sure that it actually is, but also barely missed the 2-minute mark, but 2 minutes point 222. I had to run super soft rear suspension and sweep. Okay, one wheel peel is basically controlled by overall roll angle and how stiff the front sway bar is. Basically, you gotta have a very stiff front sway bar that minimizes the roll and very little rear sway bar. Okay. But that does make the car understeer more. Yeah, indeed. Okay, so that is faster than the vertical Cupri, but the battle is not between these two cars. It's also with the Winthorpe Universum, which we're going to drive now, and the Valdez Regatta, which we're going to drive right after. Can't go as tight against the barrier on these corners as I would like because of the wheel covers, which look awesome, but they're a little bit of a hindrance here. Now, come to think of it, aren't all V8 cars in the field other than my own flat plane V8? Do we have another crossplane V8? Oh, come on. I don't think that cost 2 seconds, but we will go again later anyway. I don't think that made up... yeah, I don't think that mistake there cost me 2 seconds. We will go faster next time, though, hopefully without that mistake. But I'm counting this time. 2 to 2.541 for now. This is why every car gets 2 runs. Next is the Valdez Regatta 520R. And by the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, don't forget to leave a like, it helps out a great deal. We've broken the 10 plus likes per stream last week. We've had over 10 likes on the first 2, which I'm very grateful for, but can we get back there today maybe? 10 plus likes. Seems doable, right? This car seems to have very soft front suspension where it likes to wheelie, and it's hard for it to turn as a result once you're on power. I don't think I've had that problem this much on the other tracks, but you know, different tracks, different grip levels, so still fine. And that'll be a 1.063 for the Valdez. So as of right now, man, it would definitely be, it would be close now. Who's going out, right? I think the Mita Punta would be through now with the current standings if all else stays the same in terms of the overall leaderboard, but it might not. Next, what do we have next? Next, we're already up to the Chidosha, which I think might do pretty well here. The reason I think this could do well here is because I think it can hold a little bit more speed through these tight corners than some of the other cars. And also its short gearing in the first couple of gears might help with acceleration up the hill as well. Okay, I really have to get used to this car again. Mino's predicting a 159. Come on. Flooring it. It's so tricky on these like quick transitions because the car wants to oversteer, so you counter steer to obviously catch the drift, but then you want to transition to the other side, and so you gotta end the drift prematurely first, and then transition to the other side, and it starts to drift again. Come on, power. Alright, got through that part. Alright, it didn't turn nearly as quickly as I thought it might there. I thought the quick turning might I thought that might basically mean that I can just kind of turn in and go off throttle and the car will keep going around, but instead it started to understeer and I had to apply throttle, and that of course made the back come round. So that'll be a rather disappointing 201.982. We will go again later, of course, but either it was the car or myself underperforming, or maybe a bit of both. But that was not the time I was expecting, for sure. Next we have the Octavius 7-speed unknown. Yeah, both. Yeah, I'll readily admit it. But it's also I am sure it can do a 159. But maybe if I get a little bit of a better line on the ice and don't get as much understeer. Okay, that was actually kind of helpful. That'll be the first car other than my own to go under 2 minutes, and that'll be a 158.978. I'm sure this can also go quicker than that, but I feel like I got a fairly clean run for the most part. The ice is sort of, you know, always adds a little bit of an element of randomness to the mix, but I feel fairly good about this run. Next up is the FNS 2000 GTO. Now this will be interesting. I'm sure this will absolutely be hauling up those straights between the hairpins, but how this is going to perform on the ice is going to be interesting. So now comes the interesting part. Not to say that it was boring up until here, but I don't think we saw too many surprises. Surprisingly little drama here. And that'll be a 159.732. I think this was already slower up until the second checkpoint than the Octavius. So I don't think it lost very much time here in on the ice. But nonetheless, it's in second place as of right now. We will go again later, of course. It was surprisingly tame on the ice. I gotta be honest. But we got a couple more cars on the first run through. Starting with the gas 115S 2000G. Good for its split. Yeah, I would imagine so. He picked a much better line on the ice there. Did I? Well, I guess that's another thing that is hopefully gonna affect the second run through of all the other cars, and maybe bring the times a little bit more in line with reality, I guess. That was like terrible braking on some of these corners. By me, not by the car, just to be clear. I don't think that hurt the car in any way. Or that. But the other car is very eager to turn in. This also has the torque to go through there in second gear easily. That really threw me off there. And that'll be the new leading time of 158.265. Very good torque on this car. Helps a lot out of these corners and in between the hairpins. Also helps the car not, completely die on when we're short shifting on the ice. So good car. Good time, too. Next is the Scarab Reflex S. Now, this one will be interesting, I think. Because this... On the previous tracks, we saw mostly like understeer in the lower speed corners and oversteer in the higher speed corners. So let's see what it does here, and in particular on the ice. Bad line. Now we have to juggle between understeer and oversteer. We got a lot of torque in this car, and the understeer brought us all the way out. Yeah, I'm gonna reset. Because I can't recover from that position. Back on ice now. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I think we did it. 157.961. That'll be the new lead. Woo. Okay. I'm not sure you actually need to short shift on IDIs with these cars. Yep, I do. I do have to short shift with these cars. I found it to be significantly quicker because without short shifting, the car is going to be sideways all over the place, or I'm very likely to crash. So next is the Minos M.2SS B4. Yeah, we'll see how that one goes on the ice. We've seen how much of a madman this is on normal tarmac already in the previous races, so I'm sure we'll see it again here, but on ice. Oh, come on. Can't really comment on sort of wheel spin control right now. Not only because I'm not qualified to comment on it because I don't have a wheel for comparison, but also because I'm trying to survive here. Come on, I saw that one coming a mile away. Why didn't I do anything about it? Well, I'm sure in the right hands this is probably the fastest car in the field. Like overall. If you raced all cars against the clock on some closed circuits in a similar format to season 2, where we did like 3 laps with each car and the fastest one counted, I'm sure this would come out as the overall winner, but here on quote-unquote normal roads that aren't racetracks and thereby don't have the same level of grip as a racetrack would, especially when the roads have ice on them. Here, drivability is a little bit more of a factor. And reliably being able to finish with a car also counts for something, and that's why maybe I struggle a little bit with this car. But that'll be an easy first place for now. 156.29. That's almost 1.7 seconds quicker than second place right now. Thanks for trusting it. I mean, it's do or die, isn't it? You win or you die, I guess. Next up is the second to last car on the first run through. It's the Bristol Olympic by Teacup. Okay, messed that one up. Got a little speck of ice there mid corner. And that'll be a 157.43. Second place for now. But over a second behind the Minos. I think this is still a good car here. I had some small understeer here and there, nothing major, but some of the issues that I had with this car in the earlier races I did see again, though not as much as in the previous races. And finally, for the first run through, let's go and drive the Happy A. Their earlier first split would have made it even. Oh no. That felt like a pretty quick run though, up until that point. Understeer there. Let's do this then to fight the understeer. No understeer allowed in my house. Almost lost it there, but we're still in. Ah, and there it is. Pretty slow first split. Compared to what we did earlier with this car anyway. That was actually really helpful there. Even in third gear. That tapping wheel cracks me up every time. Well, the more I spin on the ice, the more often you're gonna get to see it, I guess. Much better first split. And that'll be a 157.693, which I think is like third, fourth? Oh, that was my own car, so it's third then. Okay, so we're done with the first run through. The real standout was the Minos, but especially when it comes to the lower positions, there's still quite a lot to fight for, and also the top three. Let's not forget. So let's do the second run through and see if anything changes. And actually, I'm also gonna start with my own car because I think that can also get a better time than it did, because now I know better like what line to take on the ice, and I've only had one finish with it earlier anyway. $155.9 flat. Yes. Finally, one track where my car is actually pretty good. No, but seriously, it feels right at home here. Like, this car on this track feels really, really nice. I don't know what it is about exactly this combination of this car and this track, but it really feels at home here. The driving bias is real because you're used to your own car. I mean, obviously that does play into it to an extent. But I don't think it's just that. Alright, let's get back into the vertical Cupri and see if we can get sub 2 minutes with this. We did a 2 minutes .531 on the first attempt. That would be something if we could get all cars under 2 minutes, right? That would be kind of an achievement. And yeah, for some reason my car is really well set up for this track, even though I didn't test drive it here once while I was building it. Massive issues with traction there. No, not quite, but faster than last time. 2 minutes, 0.324. So no matter what happens with all the other cars, not all of them are going to finish under 2 minutes. Because this one didn't. Alrighty. Let's get to the next one, which is the Mida Punta. Not to be confused with the Fiat Punto, of course. Because I don't think they've ever made a Punto that sounds like this. That feels like a pretty slow second split there. And we didn't improve on the previous time, 201.341. So this will stay at its 2 minutes, 0.222 from earlier. And let's get on to the next one. Next is the Winforb Universum. This is also involved in the battle for who gets eliminated today. Yeah, well, putting a massive exhaust onto a small four-cylinder economy engine doesn't make it sound anywhere near you know, like a high revving naturally aspirated inline six. It'll probably come close in terms of how loud it is, but not in terms of quality of the sound. Oh no! Of course. The gutter hook start. I mean, if anyone's running count of where I had to reset and how many times, surely the overwhelming majority were on the last part on ice, unsurprisingly. Yeah, is anyone counting how many times I've crashed? By the way, don't ever run a drinking game where you take a shot every time I crash on one of these streams. And again, no faster than before, I think, right? Yep, barely slower than before, 202.7 compared to 202.5. Let's get on with the next one then. Next is the Valdez. Alcohol poisoning sounds like fun. This has pretty unfortunate gearing in that, for this track, in that first gear is almost just barely too short for some of these hairpins, but second is too long and it would just bog down and yeah, almost stall. Not a very good run. And I've got no one but myself to blame. Okay, let's reset this. This was gonna be a terrible time anyway. Okay, I don't know why. This car just all of a sudden gets pretty light at those kind of speeds, and it starts to float a little bit. I mean, yeah, it doesn't have downforce, but neither do any of the other cars. Much better first split. That was aggressive through that part. But probably much quicker than before. Come on, go round. Not like that though. That was a really good run up until the second split. Still fine, there's just a little drift up. Lost a lot of time there, even though the first split was really good. It oversteered, then started understeering, then oversteered again. I feel like this is probably the car with which I've had the most resets, if you count all of the tracks, right? We had a lot of resets with this on Jungle Rock Island. Damn rear engine cars. I haven't had the same problems with other Rolls car though. And the thing is, I actually really like the way this car drives. It's just... It's just, you know... Sometimes like, look at that first split time, that's amazing. Sometimes I just lose control. I think I know the car. And the car just goes no. Yep, and that run ends there. See, once it starts to understeer there, it's really hard to correct it. But we did manage to improve, and we improved by over a second, and that'll be a 159.703. Yeah, I reset on Jungle Rock Island with this quite a few times. I remember that. But yeah, 159.703 will be its final time. If you give me just a moment, I'll be right back. All right. No, it was actually getting really warm in here, so I had to take off my my sweater. Yep, got some more water as well. The Chidosha is next. Okay. Scotch. Didn't you learn about? Didn't you hear about, you know, drunk driving not being so good for you? Or anyone else? Let's try that again. Gotta get familiar with this car's handling again. See, that was much better than before. And that's much better than before. It's over 3 seconds faster than on the previous run, and that'll definitely get this quite a few. That'll definitely get this up quite a few places. 158.887. I'll quickly fill this in. 158.887. There's a pretty nice guess there, 159, and I was just below. The next one is gonna be the Octavius, which I think if I can, I don't know, if I can keep this in its happy rev range, this engine. Wait, hang on, is OBS not capturing BeamNG? This one? Excuse me? This happened after I clicked out of BeamNG. I don't know, man. Is it not capturing BeamNG anymore? Hang on, let's fix this. Welcome back, and yeah, I know. But BeamNG should be above. Okay. Okay, I think we're back now. We're back now. I can see it in the preview. This car almost has the opposite driving behavior of the Valdez, namely that while they both actually have pretty decent turn in, although the Valdez a little bit sharper than the Octavius. The mid corner is much more oversteery on the Valdez than it is on the Octavius. In fact, this kind of understeers at times. But you can manage it. And that'll be a 157.4494. With this one, I stayed in second gear on the ice because I had quite a bit of understeer on the ice last run with this car in particular, and therefore I wanted to keep the rear sort of neutral, or maybe a slight bit of oversteer. We kept it pretty much neutral throughout this, and it worked pretty well. 157.494. Happy with that. Next is the FNS. Is it third now? I believe so. Yeah. And that'll be a 159.359 for the FNS. Better than before, although still quite a ways away from the top cars. I don't know, this just has... It has all the power in the world, but it has quite a bit of one-wheel peel, just like some other cars. I guess the overall setup of the suspension, it worked really well on the... at Utah, where I believe this came like second, right? And but here it hasn't worked quite as well. The power is there, it would just need a little bit of a retune of the suspension. Next up is the Gas 115S, which did pretty dang well on its first run. Pretty fast second split, I guess, because the first one was not super impressive. $157.957 for the gas. That is also an improvement. And I think it's like 4/1000ths of a second quicker than the Scarab was on its run. So that's pretty crazy. Speaking of the Scarab, let's see if I can improve with this. You can clip that one. You're welcome. Whoa. But you can see I'm really going for it this time. Come on, hook up. Lost too much time there. Lost too much time on the ice. Won't improve over the previous time, and that means it falls short by just 4/1000ths of a second from the gas. Whew, yeah. Next car. Deminos. Was too close to the barrier there. You know, one thing's for sure about this car, she likes to dance, and I'm not one to refuse, you know? Ah, crap. I think I damaged the car there. Come on. Turned in too early. Because this car actually turns in really, really well. That helped a lot, actually. That didn't, but don't think it hurt very much either. Oh no. I wanted too much there. I wanted too much. I want to really see what this car is capable of. I mean, I want to see that with every car, but I could have played it a little bit more conservatively there and finished the run. And it would have been a fast time regardless. 155.444, faster than my car. All right, so nothing changed in terms of the overall results because this was already the leader before. But this time is now going to be harder to beat than the 156.2 was. And we have 2 more cars remaining. Next is the Bristol Olympic, and this will be the second to last car. $157.27. The second split was actually pretty much the same as the Minos, but then in the last, like the sort of long right-hander near the end of the ice section, it kind of started to oversteer briefly until I backed off the throttle just a little bit. Then it started to understeer, went to the outside, still understeering. I tried to bring it around just a smidge on the throttle, but it just never happened, and that slowed me down quite a bit. Unfortunate, because I think this could have done the 156 point something easily. I don't know if it could have matched the Minos with its 155.4, but it could have definitely gotten under 157. But that's the difference. That's the difference. Last but not least, the Happy A. Things can only get better for the Happy A in this one, because as of right now it's in what, like 4th place? 5th? 4th? I think 4th. Yep. This already feels like a quicker run than before. And that'll be a 156.624, which is second. See, I feel like this is what the Bristol could have done as well, if it hadn't understeered off in that last sort of long right-hand bend. Now, I'm sure Teacup would like to see another run with his car. Does anyone else want to see me redo it? Because it was really, really close between the Minos, the Happy A, and the Bristol up at the second checkpoint. They were all at like 119.1, 119.2. All right, MKR is for it. Anyone else? Minos? Yep. Okay, let's do it. That's not how you drive this car. But like this, I figured this out maybe too late into the season, but this car, while it does have the tendency to initially understeer even in the slower corners, and that does or it did for the longest time kind of make me not trust the car fully and thus caused me to back off the throttle. Instead, what you gotta do is really step on the throttle. Trust that the rear will come round, which it will eventually, and just kind of power slide out of the corner. That's how you have to. That's how you get the best times out of this car. There it didn't power oversteer. Man, sometimes this particular braking point can be really tricky to get. Because you're coming in so fast. And also sort of still mid-corner from the right-hand bend before. What did you get? You probably like a 151, right? or 4.1. Alright, see ya, Tez. Thanks for your help. It's quite a bit slower up until the second split than on the last run. But if we cannot understeer off here, then it could have been a faster time. Dynamic weight reduction. Man, I don't know. I'm struggling more than before. You'd think I'd get better with this car the more runs I do. Oh, come on. I gotta fight against the understeer once we get to third gear. And once we get to third gear, usually there's not enough power to bring it back around to correct the understeer. Here in first gear there is. Okay, I'll give it one more attempt, because this is... Okay, let's do one more. I want to actually finish a run though, and see what this car is capable of. Here we are. And that'll be a finished run with a better time than before. 1:56.79, and that'll be the final time for the Bristol. So, all right. 1:56.790. Right. Now, results. First place, Minos. Second place, IMKR, after a really big improvement on the second run. Third place, Teacup. Fourth place, Adderall. Fifth place, Random 41. Sixth place, Fifth place, Random 41. Sixth place, Grid Ghost. Seventh place, Aisha. Eighth place, Tez. Ninth place, Nocturne. 10th place, Travik, then TST 560 Ti, and then PC Moreno coming in last. As always, the results will be on the forum post. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like before you leave, and I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.